Hey everyone, welcome back to my vinyl collection, and today's actually going to be my Record Store Day 2016 video. I know it's really delayed because it's like, that was months ago, but only finally got around to doing it. And this year I got like 1 LP and 3 singles, being Frank Turner and these guys, which I'll be getting onto in a second, so don't go away. So first up is Frank Turner's Positive Songs for Negative People. This is the acoustic version of his 2015 album. And I actually found out about this one after watching a video, like an interview between John Tolley from Bag Records with Frank Turner himself, where they discussed about Record Store Day and its importance and everything, and also like halfway through they mentioned what he's going to release, and is this one. So I thought I'd check it out, you know. So yeah, this is the LP, and basically it's the acoustic like tracks that you got from the deluxe version of the 2015 album, but now it's like put onto like a vinyl. There's actually 10 tracks on this one. There's actually 12 on the original album because the first and last song is actually already acoustic, so it doesn't really like make sense. But I'm actually not sure why they didn't put it on actually, because since they're acoustic, why not just chuck it on? But anyway, so there's 10 tracks. Now for the design, as you can tell straight away, I might put a picture of the original one up somewhere, but comparing the two, it's basically like an alternative version of it, with the photos all like changed up a bit. And so with him like, you know, playing acoustic guitar in a live show and him holding an acoustic guitar on the back. So it's fairly well designed in terms of the way things are laid out. It's almost like when you go on Google search and you find images all tiled in a certain way. But yeah, I quite like this tiling effect, or style with design. And you've got like that on the back, where it's got the red and blue colours, and also the plus and minus, positive and negative symbols going everywhere. And so yeah, and that's pretty much the design of the outside. Let's take a look inside. So inside you do get your download card. Again, I'm not showing you my code. So yeah, that's great because you get a digital copy. And the sleeve is following the same sort of design as the cover, obviously, and it makes sense to do so. But it's got this crazy sort of like checkered pattern or chessboard type pattern going on with the plus and minus symbols, the red and blue colour scheme going on. So it's a little bit hard on the eyes, but it makes sense, you know, it's alright. And on the back it's fairly simple, it's got the lyrics and the thank yous. But also on the thank you section, it actually does mention like a thank you, like a shout out sort of thing to John Tolley himself, so that's quite a nice detail. Apart from that, that's design. It's, you know, it's okay, it's not too special. The sleeve itself is actually like this kind of, I don't know, like a funny coated paper card thing, which I'm not too fond of, but I mean it's nice on the outside, but on the inside this feels like there's a bit of static, or it's a bit hard getting the vinyl out, and I just feel a bit concerned. But again, I guess it's slightly better than the paper, because I don't know, the paper for some reason to me feels like it might scratch it somehow more than like a coated one, but oh well, that's just me. Anyway, so this is the vinyl you get inside. Again, it's this traditional standard black with the blue on one side on the label and the other side being red. Apart from that, you know, nothing too special. Again, it's pretty straightforward. You get 5 songs on each side and 33 RPM, so pretty standard. So in this version of his record, it does, you know, remind you of a little bit of his punk kind of alternative sort of background. You do hear that in his vocals, but not necessarily much in like the songwriting and the way he generates sounds and the general arrangement of it. But yeah, because you know it's predominantly, you know, folk and indie, and you hear that quite a lot, especially in the acoustic version. Although the original ones do have a bit more, I guess, layers to it and a bit more depth to it because of the extra instruments, I suppose, being stripped back like this. Even though this is quite nice, you know, it's nice to hear like an alternative version of the song, and when it's a bit more genuine, a bit more authentic, and a bit more honest in a way, and I quite like it. That's what I appreciate about this one. And also, by listening to this album, it does remind me just how many people in Nottingham, who, you know, part of the Songwriters Society, and like when we played with Mike Nights, like just how many of them are of this kind of genre or play these sort of songs. I just sort of like came to that realization. But anyway, that's just me. So a few favourites or like songs that I kind of like on this album would be, I think, Mittens. I guess mainly because it's a little bit catchy, but also there's a line I quite like in the chorus. It's a bit cheesy, but I guess that's why it caught my attention. It goes to something along the lines of, we used to feel like mittens, but never like gloves. And I thought, you know, that's true, you know, it makes a lot of sense, you know, when you sort of look back at, you know, relationships and things like that, which didn't turn out for the best. And yeah, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. But also in the bridge, I really like his vocals, where it gets a bit more aggressive, and it shows like a lot of distraught and like emotion they're trying to put across, and I think that's pretty damn good. You know, then I think there's Out of Breath, which is like more fast paced, and you know, does exactly what it says in the title. Is quite, you know, a bit insane, and it's very fast paced and a bit aggressive, just a bit loud, and then it kind of slows down with Demons. But actually, my favourite one off the album, which isn't actually on this LP, is actually Old Flames. mainly because it's the more, I guess, the most cheerful one out of all of them, and also it features like a female vocalist, Billy the Kid, which I think their voices quite, complement each other fairly well. And overall, it's a cheerful, fun, like clapping kind of song where it's almost as if like, oh, let's get everyone around the fire sort of thing. That's probably not what we wanted, but yeah, like it just has that kind of vibe to it, and I just quite like it. It has a really nice, the most catchiest chorus, I think, and the nicest melodies, and yeah, I think that's probably my favourite one out of all of them, which is not even on this one. So next up is the epic, the immense Bring Me the Horizon. Right, this is their 7-inch single released on Record Store Day, obviously, featuring 2 songs, Drown and Throne. And yeah, there isn't like a dedicated sleeve thing for this one, it's just this plastic sleeve, which is already very good because, it's better than the crap you usually get, like these paper sleeves. So anyway, like the good thing about this one, that it's see-through and you can see it straight away, and you're not afraid to like hold it and take a close look to it, and like you don't worry about damaging the grooves because you're not actually touching them. So yeah, I mean, it's nice little packaging, but again, it's a little bit tacky, mainly because of the sticker sort of adhesive thing, where I've accidentally, ripped it apart, and so that's not very nice. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if they had some kind of resealable type thing, which wasn't as easily damaged as this. But yeah, I mean, it does the job. Also, yeah, this is 2 tracks recorded in this like studio called Maida Vale or Maida Vale, I think it's in London. So yeah, let's take a look inside, even though you can already see it. So what you get inside is a 7-inch picture disc. With really nice sort of designs on both sides. So side A with Drown and side B with Throne, the bluer side. I think these are really nice, like I said already in my That's the Spirit album vinyl review video, where it's got this really nice psychedelic, crazy, like, I don't know, acrylic painted wavy like madness. I don't know how it's done, but it looks really cool. Honestly, it almost looks like, yeah, I don't know, is it acrylic? It's like all like splashed around and stuff, but it almost looks like they've chucked a lot of paint into like this massive bucket and then just swirled it about and then added a bit more and added layers, and that's kind of what it looks like to me. But I don't know how it's done. I gotta find out. But yeah, it looks really cool. Now, out of the 2 songs on this, I think Drown is probably blatantly the better one. It's one of the most, like, the best recordings they've done so far, but in terms of like being a much more chilled out, stripped back version of a song, and I think this has been done really well, mainly because it's, first of all, it's really like dreamy in a way. It's really chilled out, it's really mellow, like with the introduction of string instruments and backing vocals. It just all adds towards the fact that it's actually a really beautiful song when you think about it, as opposed to the more aggressive one on the album. And also it does really show off the way Ollie can sing, because he actually is an incredible singer when he does clean vocals, as much as he's good at doing screaming, even though that's up for debate because he doesn't scream as much anymore. But again, I mean, I like the way they've stripped back and is much more honest. It makes the lyrics much more honest, and it gives them much more of a genuine feel. And I think that's why, that's one of the reasons why I really like this particular track over Throne, because Throne is more of a replica of the one on the album. It's basically, a copy of it but done live. But the good thing about this one is that you can actually differentiate who's singing, which I think is quite good, because on the album I felt like Ollie was singing all of it, but actually he wasn't. And so yeah, I mean, overall I think Drown, yeah, get this one. Actually no, there's no point getting it because it's probably all sold out by now. But yeah, if you manage to get this one, you're really lucky, because it does have that really awesome version of Drown, even though that's available to watch and stream online on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, just nice to have a hard copy of it. So next up is Gerard Way's single. This includes 2 unreleased tracks called Pinkish and Don't Try, like sort of not from, but kind of his Hesitant Alien album. So technically they're kind of bonus tracks, but not really, or maybe they are, I don't know. Yeah, so just straight away you get a dedicatedly designed outer jacket sleeve thing, which is much better because it's a sense of like more protection over the plastic one. But I think, I don't know if anyone else agrees, but this is a much better design than his album cover. Like, look at that. It captures a sense of, motion, a bit of like psychedelic feel to it, almost like he's crazy, and like just his pose and everything is much better than the original album cover. And I think, again, it just sums up the tracks on here. If you actually listen to these, actually seeing that captures like the energy, the emotion that's in the song. So I think design-wise this is really good. So inside you get the 7-inch limited edition picture disc, which is a pink and purple splatter variant design type thing. I think you can agree that it matches the cover really well, and I don't know like which one's better really. I don't know, it's up to you guys. Which one's better, Bring Me the Horizon or this one? I think because they both work really well in terms of capturing the music and the way it reflects like the emotions I put across in the songs, and this one specifically works really well. I mean, again, design wise, wow. Anyway, enough about design, let's talk about the tracks. So Gerard Way used to be an MCR, which is My Chemical Romance, did his own sort of thing under his name Gerard Way, and he ventured in all sorts of like genres, including punk, Britpop, and entering aesthetics such as, you know, everything from the 80s, 70s and even 90s, and all three of those, and including glam rock, and he's done it really well in his album Hesitant Alien, and even more so in these bonus tracks. Now, Pinkish is probably the more better one out of the two, even though Don't Try has the more catchier choruses, but I think Pinkish is the better one because it's going to please a lot of MCR fans. It is the more heavier, the punky, the more aggressive, the song that reminds me of 1970s alternative culture and punk, and the birth of punk and how rough around the edges it was and how, I guess, raw it sounds. And I think this one did a really good job in doing that because it does capture that period of time, and it reminds us how well he can sing and how good he was in My Chemical Romance, and it's going to please a lot of fans. And I'm surprised it wasn't even on the album because, like, why is it such a good track? I guess maybe it didn't fit, maybe it did, but for some reason it was kept like behind those doors and released this way. And I think he did play it live as well, so, well, at least people heard it live and had the pleasure to. But anyway, yeah, if you manage to get a copy of this, you're pretty damn lucky. So I felt like saying the best for last, and for various reasons, but, you know, it has been a sad year of deaths, you know, and not just because, you know, they were celebrities, but, you know, there were even good people who passed away this year, and, you know, musicians, actors, and in particular, one who could do both is David Bowie, and I felt like, in respect, one of the releases for X All Day, I really should get one of them, and I got this one, which includes 2 tracks, so TVC15 and Wild is the Wind. And as you can see, it does have, you know, that plastic sort of cover outer sleeve with no dedicated card version of it, so that's a little bit annoying, but again, the positive thing is that you can hold it and without being worried about damaging it that much. And also there is the X All Day exclusive sticker, which I guess that's nice. But anyway, let's actually open this and take a look inside. So like with the other two, you know, it's a limited edition 7-inch picture disc. In this case, it includes 2 nice pictures of David Bowie himself, one on this side and on the other side. This side being TVC15 and Wild is the Wind on this side. And let's talk about the tracks. So out of the 2 tracks, I think TVC15 is my favourite one, mainly because it's the more upbeat, cheerful one out of the 2. And, you know, just interesting facts about it, you know, it's released back in the 70s originally, and it's from his 10th studio album called Station to Station, and just to say his 10th album, it just, it reminds us how much work he's put into everything he did, and how much work he's done, and just, you know, why he deserves so much praise for what he's done. And it just reminds us, you know, because of all that and all the great songs he's recorded and everything, it's, you know, it's sad for him to go. And anyway, so Wild is the Wind is the more mellow track, the more dreamy one, and I guess the more soul-ish kind of bluesy sort of song out of the 2. And so that's also still a nice one. I'm not saying it's bad, you know, just prefer the more happy one. But anyway, back to sort of him, just very briefly, you know, yeah, he inspired so many people. He's been such an inspiration to a lot of musicians, and even, I guess, just people in general, because of the way the bold choices he makes, the mastery of music, you know, it's everything about him. Just, I guess, made quite a huge impact on everybody, and, you know, that's also why it's sad for him to go. But anyway, I don't want this video to be about him and making it depressing or anything, but yeah, so that's my little review of this single. So that was my Record Store Day 2016 video of these vinyls. Sorry it took so long, I only got around to doing it now, and this is like, what month? It was October, bloody hell. Yeah, so quite a lot of months late. Anyway, yeah, so if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful in some way, you know, please leave a like or comment or whatever down below. And also, if you want to, you can subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. I'll put it down to you if you don't want to, but I'm just throwing it out there as usual. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, so see ya. So first up is Frank Turner's Positive Songs from Negative. Oh, for God's sake.